last 16 tie. Mendy E and Sergio Oliveira are both suspended. Luis Diaz and Marco Grujic come in. For Chelsea, well, they were shocked 5-2 by West Brom in the Premier League last time out. Thomas Tuchel has rung the changes from that game. The starts for Rudiger, Christensen, Chilwell, Mount and Havertz. Kickoff in this one is at 8 o'clock. And 8 o'clock is upon us. It's a very warm welcome along to our independent off-tube studio commentary of this huge Champions League quarter-final first leg tie between FC Porto and Chelsea, taking place on neutral territory this evening at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán in Seville. Both legs actually of this tie will be played in Spain at this venue. Chelsea have just got the game underway. They're officially the away side this evening, so yes, they would have the advantage of the away goals rule. They're playing in their changed luminous pinky orange kit with the navy blue tops. Very distinctive look for Thomas Tuchel's side. Porto in their traditional blue and white colours, the home side. Technically this evening they're going from right to left in this first half. The game just underway. We've had the first free kick conceded. Wilson Manafa, the Porto right back, fouling his man in the middle of the park. Huge game then, this one. Two sides looking to battle it through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Chelsea off the back of that shock 5-2 defeat to West Brom in the Premier League on home soil at the weekend. The first defeat under Thomas Tuchel. They only conceded 2 goals before then under the German. He'll be looking for a response from his side. Porto in decent form. Of course, not Juventus out the last 16 stage of this competition, but they're without 2 of their talismen from that tie, Mendy E and Sergio Oliveira, who scored what proved to be the crucial away goal in extra time. They're both out through suspension for Chelsea. It's 5 changes from the side that lost to West Brom. They're boosted by N'Golo Kante being back on the bench as well, but the players to come in: Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, Ben Chilwell, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, as Porto looking to make some early running down the right-hand side, but Manafa's passage through is blocked and Chelsea tidy up by going back to their goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. He must have got used to not conceding goals, and a bit of a shock for him and the rest of the Chelsea team to ship 5 at West Brom. Of course, the caveat being Chelsea had Thiago Silva, who's on the bench this evening, sent off during the first half when they were leading 1-0. Early touch then for Antonio Rudiger for Chelsea, reportedly involved in a training ground bust-up with goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga in the wake of Saturday's defeat. But he's played an interesting ball over the top there, and it's one for Timo Werner to chase, tidied up by Chancel Mbemba for Porto. That'll be a throw-in to the Portuguese side in their right back. In fact, it's Chelsea's ball. Ben Chilwell takes it quickly. It breaks the way of Mason Mount, who works his way into the penalty area, flashes a dangerous ball across the 6-yard box. There was no one in pink within the penalty area, so Reece James will have to retrieve down the right-hand side. He goes back to Azpilicueta, and it's worked into the halfway line. Kovacic back out to the Chelsea captain once again, and between him and Kovacic they work it nicely. Jorginho will get involved as well. Kovacic now looking over the top for Chilwell, who'd made the dart from the left-hand side, but the ball was not accurate enough on this occasion from the Croatian international. Porto have possession. It's their Argentine goalkeeper, Agustin Marchesin, who stands over the ball. Argentine international, just the 7 caps to his name, but vastly experienced at club level. Joined Porto in 2019, previously spending all his career in South and Central America. 3.5 minutes on the clock. Porto 0, Chelsea 0. Seville holds fond memories for both these teams. Chelsea recently, of course, beating Sevilla in this stadium to clinch top spot during the group campaign this season. For Porto, their memories have to go back to 2003 when they beat Celtic after extra time in the then UEFA Cup final. Jose Mourinho's Porto, and of course the season after that under Mourinho they went on to win the Champions League as well, beating Monaco. So certainly fond memories for Porto. I can tell you, in the other Champions League game taking place in this group, it's Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1. Kylian Mbappe has scored inside 3 minutes. A crucial away goal for PSG perhaps, in what is a rerun of last season's Champions League final. So the defending champions in trouble. Both those matches, unlike this one, are being played at their respective home ground. So it is taking place at the Allianz Arena this evening as Reece James shows good industry down the right-hand side to retain possession for Chelsea. Andreas Christensen now across to Tony Rudiger. Who again looks for the arcing ball over the top. Chilwell challenging in the air there with Manafa, it'll be tidied up, but it should be tidied up by Manafa, and he's actually lost possession in a dangerous area. Havertz picks it up. Kovacic will now switch out to the right-hand side towards Reece James, who cushions it down for Mount. Challenge comes in there from Otavio. It'll be a Chelsea throw-in, which they're keen to get on with quickly. Reece James has worked it back to Cesar Azpilicueta. 24 degrees it's supposed to be in Seville this evening. Glorious temperatures, although perhaps a little hot to be playing football. Although they will cool those temperatures as the match goes on. Ben Chilwell for Chelsea. The Blues dominating the opening exchanges in terms of possession, which is what we've come to expect under Thomas Tuchel, as Azpilicueta turns it around the corner for Mount. He's tracked stride for stride there by Porto's left-back Zaidu Sanusi. And it deflects off the Nigerian international and behind for the game's first corner. First opportunity for Chelsea to get bodies forward into the area from a set piece. Christensen, Rudiger likely to make their way up from the back. Work for Porto to do defensively in these opening exchanges. It's worked short, in fact, though, by Kai Havertz. Gets it back off James and goes infield to Jorginho. Kovacic will now look to clip it over the top, and it's Havertz who's actually made the dart inside, but there's too much on the pass, and it's claimed by Marchesin. Quickly looks to distribute the ball forward. There's 5 Chelsea players back, though, and only one Porto attacker, Luis Diaz, who's taken a whack to the face. He's actually done well, Diaz. He's gone down, but Porto do have possession. Referee happy for play to go on, and then he has spotted the need to halt play. Diaz, disgruntled look on his face, claiming he was pushed. Porto trying to get on with the resulting free kick over on the far side. Quickly there, it was Otavio who took it, but too quickly for the referees. Like it's back to Jesus Corona, who's gone down. He was a bit of the meat in the sandwich between Kovacic and Rudiger. Free kick given. And it's a chance now for Porto to lift the ball into the penalty area. Otavio standing over it. Mbemba's gone forward from the back. Sanusi as well. Sure, Pepe will be in amongst that as well. He is, in fact, the experienced former Real Madrid man, 38 years of age, the oldest player to play in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, oldest outfield player, that is, since playing gigs back in 2014 for Manchester United. Otavio has worked the free kick short, though. Not sure if Pepe and Mbemba and the likes will appreciate that. It's gone all the way back to Marchesin, in fact, who will now lift it forward. It's a good ball out to Otavio, but his touch lets him down, and Chelsea might be able to break with Kai Havertz down the left-hand side. He trying to interchange there with Jorginho. Tidied up comfortably enough, though, by Manafa. Marchesin clears long towards the strong, tall figure that is Moussa Marega. He will certainly let the 3 Chelsea centre-backs know they've been in a game this evening. And goal threat as well, you'd imagine, for Porto, the Mali international. Averaging a goal almost every 2 games in Premier League football in Portugal. The number 11, 29 years of age, turns 30 actually in a week's time. Which we'll know he'll be going through to the semi-finals from this time, because the second leg of this showdown is due to take place next Tuesday. As Reece James for Chelsea works the ball back to Azpilicueta. Now Andreas Christensen, closed down by Marega. Azpilicueta involved again, and Chelsea work it nicely down the right-hand side. Reece James, though, tried to slide the ball around the corner to Mason Mount. It was well intercepted on 2 occasions actually there from Zaidu Sanusi, who turns it out of play for a throw-in. But Chelsea doing most of the early running in this game. dominating the possession. So it's Christensen who brings it out from the back, and there's space for Reece James, who's been a good outlet down this right-hand side, but the ball's always spinning away from him on this occasion, and Sanusi can watch it out of play for a goal kick. Lively start at the Ramón Sanchez Pizjuán. It's still Porto 0, Chelsea 0, as we've come accustomed to under Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea dominating the ball, not creating an awful lot as of yet. They have had a corner which came to nothing, and a couple of nearly moments. Kai Havertz flashing a dangerous ball across the face of the 6-yard box, but there was no takers for Chelsea on that occasion. For Porto, not much from them going forward as of yet. One free kick that they actually wasted in a good position. They took it short and ended up losing possession. So, cagey start perhaps, but it remains at 0-0. Porto now looking to come forward. It's twisting and turning as Jesus Corona down the left-hand side. He's dug out a cross, but straight into the hands of Edouard Mendy, who claims comfortably and distributes the ball out to Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side. Porto 0, Chelsea 0 it remains. An update from the other game in the group very shortly as well. PSG with that early goal were 1-0 up over the defending champions Bayern Munich in Munich. Looking at that scoreline now, it is still 1-0 to Mauricio Pochettino's side. This game yet to set alight. It's kind of what you would expect in the opening exchanges of the first leg of a big European tie. Both teams feeling each other out. Marega is now looking to come forward for Porto. He's dug out a cross. Diaz could get a shot away. He does. It's blocked by Christensen. That's the first effort in anger towards goal, and it came from the Colombian Luis Diaz. As they're coming forward again, Porto, again Marega puts a decent ball into the area. This time Chelsea are able to scramble it away without the shot coming in. Porto will come again though. Otavio into the box. It'll break to the edge of the area, and the volley is a decent effort from Matthias Uribe that lands on the roof of Edouard Mendy's net. Uribe, who scored a wonder goal for Colombia, you may remember, in that round of 16 tie at the 2018 World Cup to force extra time against England. Sorry, I say they didn't know. It was actually the shot that was saved brilliantly by Jordan Pickford, and then the resulting corner in stoppage time led to the equalising goal that forced extra time for Colombia. He's just had another brilliant effort there that I say lands on the roof of Edouard Mendy's goal. As Porto all of a sudden doing plenty of the running. Grujic works it back to Manafa, who easily works his way past Mateo Kovacic. He then has his route through towards the edge of the penalty area, blocked by Jorginho. Lively little spell this though for FC Porto. Ball at the feet of former Newcastle United defender Chancel Mbemba. Finds Pepe. He looks over the top. He spotted the angled run there of Otavio, but will carry over the Brazilian's head and out to play for a goal kick. But a couple of occasions there we've seen the brilliance of Moussa Marega down the right-hand side and the attacking quality that Porto possessed. That Uribe shot, it gets closer every time I see a replay. Dipping, swerving volley. As I say, had Edouard Mendy absolutely motionless in the Chelsea goal. And Porto showing what they've got. Lovely skill there from Sanusi to get away from a couple of challenges. Worked by Otavio, back to Mbemba and out to Manafa on the right-hand side. He's supported by Uribe. Back in it goes to Otavio, finds himself in a central position at the moment. Header flicked on by Luis Diaz. Marega, lovely touch around the corner. Might be a chance for Otavio. He tries to tee up Diaz, who works onto his right foot. Can't find an angle for a shot. Uribe will keep the ball moving out to the left with Sanusi. Now a chance for Otavio to return it to Sanusi, who was in behind the Chelsea defence, trying to flash it across the 6-yard box, and just as he was watching it over his shoulder, I think he lost the flight of the ball, the full-back, and couldn't make the contact. In fact, he doesn't make any contact in the end with the ball. It was worked really nicely, though, from Porto. Some slick football from the Portuguese side at the moment. Chelsea dominated the opening 10 minutes in terms of possession, but it's the reigning Primeira Liga champions who are doing the running at this moment in time. 14 minutes on the clock. Porto 0, Chelsea 0. Edouard Mendy of the goal kick forward. Looked like it hung up in the wind there. Didn't quite reach halfway. Chelsea do still have possession though. Rudiger to Christensen, and back to the German international once again. Complete change from Chelsea from a defensive point of view from the weekend. They went back four with Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma at the centre of it. They've both been left out this evening. Thomas Tuchel's gone back to a back three, as Jorginho perhaps a little bit fortunate there to win the free kick. Grujic going in with the challenge a little bit too forcefully. Otherwise Porto would have had a chance to break forward. Ball with Mason Mount for Chelsea. Plays it into Christensen, who will look to clip it early over the top. But again, the quality of the pass from Reece James, who is the outlet down that right-hand side. Quality wasn't there from Christensen, and Thomas Tuchel out on the edge of his technical area, asking one or two questions of his players. Perhaps sensing that Porto are settling the better into this game. Marchesin stands with the ball at his feet in no hurry to distribute it. Waits for Timo Werner to close him down, picks it up, then puts it back down again. And eventually he will clip the ball out towards the right-hand side, where Marega battling away with Chilwell, but couldn't quite get it under control. Ball goes out for a Chelsea throw. Marega actually indicating to the assistant referee that he was being held by Ben Chilwell, but not spotted by the officials, as Chilwell takes the resulting throw in. It's a searching throw down the line, picked up by Mason Mount, looking to take on Pepe. Plays the ball towards the far post where Reece James is forward, but good claim by Marchesin, and James is out of the game now. Porto can break into the space he's vacated down their left-hand side. It's worked by Otavio, out to Luis Diaz. Steps away from James, who's now recovered his position. Sanusi for FC Porto. He goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. And they will look to build again from the back, Porto. Possession's probably just about evening itself out now in this game. 15 minutes on the clock. Marchesin will lift the ball forward, looking towards Luis Diaz. Azpilicueta has a free header. Diaz didn't challenge, but he tried to cushion it down for Reece James there, the Chelsea captain, and he got his angles wrong. It's gone out of play for a throw-in. A chance for Porto to keep the pressure on Chelsea in the Premier League side's defensive third. Sanusi is standing over the throw. It's a long throw from the Nigerian into the box, flicked on effectively. It might break to Marega. It was Uribe who flicked it on. In fact, no, it was Grujic who flicked it on. It breaks to Uribe on the edge of the area. Eventually, Chelsea can scramble it clear. Mbemba then misreads the flight of the ball. Again, I think the wind a factor. Eventually, Sanusi wins it back for Porto, and well, they're incensed that a free kick has been given. Referee Slavko Vincic of Slovenia. It was Otavio who's being penalised in the middle of the park. He seems to be the one playing just in behind Marega. Diaz and Corona floating behind, although it's quite a fluid formation from Porto with Uribe and Grujic just in the defensive midfield roles, but we've seen both of those central midfielders get forward from time to time as well. A good start from Porto. Marko Grujic in possession, on loan from Chelsea, the Serbian international. Looks it back to his goalkeeper. Marchesin will lift it forward. Christensen beats Otavio in the air. That's a bit of an aerial mismatch, but Otavio battling away in the middle of the park. And was he fouled there? Yes, he was, by Jorginho. Putting himself about Otavio, causing Chelsea one or two problems. Wasn't much contact really from Jorginho. I think Otavio may have been looking for that foul, and he's got it inside the centre circle. Incidentally, it's still Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1 in the other Champions League quarterfinal first leg tie being played this evening. This is a good play from Manafa down the right-hand side, although he stopped brilliantly in the end by Kovacic's challenge. Tony Rudiger now basically on his own byline, has to just lash the ball clear. Pepe will get his head to it, send it back from where it came. Jorginho now for Chelsea. Going to add an element of control. He almost gifted the ball to Uribe. Just about had enough legs on it to find Mateo Kovacic. Now Christensen for Chelsea carries it up towards the halfway line. Porto getting everyone back behind the ball. Fluid system when coming forward, but they do file back into position rather rigidly when they lose it. And Marega now trying to press Christensen. And the mistake has come this time from Azpilicueta. Grujic has it for Porto in the middle of the park. Let's say they're well drilled under their manager, Sergio Conceição. Portugal international, scored a hat-trick, incidentally, at Euro 2000, and a couple of spells playing for Porto. Most notably known for his time in Italy with the likes of Lazio and Inter during the noughties. Pepe now for Porto, who was a former teammate of his manager, actually, during his first spell at Porto. Deflects out playoff Reece James. It's a throw-in, 20 minutes on the clock. Porto 0, Chelsea 0. Luis Diaz, lovely turn to get away from Mason Mount down the left-hand side. Links up with Sanusi. Support there from Jesus Corona as well. Diaz has gone down, and the referee, well, I think he was trying to play an advantage there, Slavko Vincic. But he has pulled it back and given the free kick the way of Porto. Decent refereeing. It's a set piece on the left-hand side in a crossing position. Foul was from Jorginho, and he was clearly late there on Luis Diaz. And a chance for the Portuguese side to put pressure on the Chelsea goal once again. Diaz has limped back to his feet. He's taking a place on the edge of the area. Chelsea trying to hold the line on the 18-yard box. On the edge of the 18-yard box, I should say. Otavio will take this free kick for Porto. Similar position on the other side of the pitch. He rather wasted it by going short. I don't think Pepe and the likes will allow that to happen again. And indeed, Otavio lifts it into the box, and I think it flicked off the head of Pepe last. No, the referee says it came off a Chelsea player. Tony Rudiger, perhaps. And it'll be a corner to Porto. I think it flicked off Rudiger and then perhaps hit Ben Chilwell behind him as well. Either way, Porto corner kick. Otavio is making his way over from the left-hand side to the right to take this set piece. Mbemba, Pepe will stay forward. Sanusi, the left-back, tall figure in there. Grujic, an option as well. They're a big team, Porto. Otavio sends the corner into the box. It's flicked on by Pepe. Two Chelsea players go for the same ball. It will break for Sanusi on the left-hand side, who settles for the throw-in. As we've already seen, he does have a long throw, the Nigerian. Chelsea will need to be aware of that. He's gone short, though, on this occasion. Looking to link up with Jesus Corona, who claims he should have a corner. And, yep, last touch adjudged to have come off Reece James. Porto can keep the pressure up. And again, it will be Otavio to trot across and take this set piece. Can Porto make their pressure pay? Porto 0, Chelsea 0. Jesus Corona's there as a short option, incidentally, if Otavio chooses to use him. Referee just delaying the taking of this corner. He has a word with the players in the box. Eventually it is taken short and they work it. Otavio flicks it over the head of the defender. It comes to Corona again. Pepe gets a shot away. It will be another corner. They worked it short, Porto. Otavio into Corona. That invited Mason Mount to come and close him down. Corona spun, and Otavio flicked the ball over to the Mexican. And in the end, Pepe's shot was scrambled behind for another corner. Clever from Porto. No sign of the short corner on this occasion. Otavio will go for a more regulation delivery. In fact, he's gone for goal. Mendy makes the save, and it's fired over in the end by Sanusi on the volley. Mendy was completely caught out there. I think he's even going for goal, Otavio, and it's definitely going in. Mendy just about scrambles it away on his goal line, and then the follow-up effort from Sanusi was over. The pressure is quelled for the time being, but Chelsea at the moment well and truly on the back foot. Still goalless at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán between Porto and Chelsea, but the Portuguese side are dominating at the moment and looking really good. It has to be said. Matches Uribe's had a brilliant effort from the edge of the area on the volley. Hit the roof of Edouard Mendy's net when the goalkeeper was beaten. All ends up. Otavio has then tried to beat the goalkeeper directly from a corner that had him scrambling. And from the follow-up, Zaidu Sanusi fired over. Chelsea haven't created much in the last 10-15 minutes or so. As I say, they're on the back foot, but it does remain goalless. Chelsea have now gone at the other end and forced a corner of their own. Reece James standing over it. To deliver into the box towards the far post. It's headed away by Grujic. There could be a counter-attack on now, led by Luis Diaz, but he showed too much of that to Jorginho, who's able to put the challenge in. Chelsea tidy up by going all the way back to Edouard Mendy, who's certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers so far in this game. Porto 0, Chelsea 0 it remains, however, in this quarter-final, Champions League quarter-final last 16 tie. As I say, it's still Bayern 0, Porto 1, Bayern 1, PSG. Bayern 0, PSG 1, sorry, I'll get that right. Kylian Mbappe's early goal for the Parisians, currently the difference between the two sides in that one. Remember, the winner of this tie will go on to play Real Madrid or Liverpool in the semi-finals. Real having beat the Reds 3-1 in last night's first leg in Madrid. Porto 0, Chelsea 0 it remains in this game. That chance actually from the corner where Otavio went directly for goal. It is a decent opportunity for Zaido Sanusi after that. He just couldn't quite keep his left foot volley down. Perhaps if it had been a centre forward rather than a left back with that chance, it could well have been 1-0 to Porto by now. Although he was under pressure, Sanusi, it was by no means an easy opportunity. Andreas Christensen's penalised, free kick given, taken quickly by Otavio, and not for the first time the referee not happy with how quickly Porto are trying to get on with those set pieces, and he will bring it back. They'll have to reset on the halfway line. Mbemba it is who will take the set piece sideways to Pepe, but that's a rather aimless ball over the top from him. Porto skipper offers a hand of apology. Chelsea will now look to bring the ball forward from the back themselves with Andreas Christensen, the central of the three defenders this evening. Rudiger to his left, now in possession, and Azpilicueta to his right. Andreas Christensen once more, rather tentatively bringing the ball forward. Looking for some options. He goes sideways to Azpilicueta. James now hooks it forward. It almost turns into a searching ball for Timo Werner, who's barely had a kick in these opening 27 minutes, and he doesn't get one there. Chancel Mbemba is able to hook it clear. It'll be a throw into Chelsea just about on the halfway line. Not sure if Werner would have been onside anyway. Like he was maybe gone a yard early. In fact, the referee's assistant raised his flag, so I think the offside has been given rather than the throw-in. Yes, indeed, a free kick which Pepe stands over. He'll clip out towards the left-hand side where Sanusi, I mentioned, is a tall figure. Challenges in the air of Reece James. James beats him to the ball, knocks it out for a throw and takes a little bit of a whack for his troubles. Yeah, a little bit of a slight collision of heads. I think James is okay. Referee just checking on his well-being before allowing Zaido Sanusi to get on with his throw. He feeds it into Marega, who lays it off to Otavio. He couldn't quite control. Chelsea clear as far as Mbemba. He's looking to break forward Mbemba, and he links up with Otavio into the penalty area. He just couldn't quite sort his feet out there, Otavio. He puts his hands on his head because he knows it was a chance. He's saying there to his teammates he was trying to get his feet sorted out so he could get a cross in. Chelsea have cleared it out for a throw-in over on Porto's right. Manafa takes it again into the feet of Marega, who waits for the touch from Jorginho and settles for the corner. The last corner, Otavio went directly for goal. I think as a right-footed player from this right-hand side, he'll probably not be able to do that this time around. What a real effect on this game, though, the number 25 for Porto. As he goes short to Jesus Corona, he almost turned away from Mason Mount, who actually did a good job in the end of pinching it back and then winning the free kick for his side. It was clever, though, from Corona, and between him and Otavio, they do have a decent array of set pieces up their sleeve. PSG, incidentally, have gone 2-0 up at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich. Really brilliant start for Mauricio Pochettino's side. Marquinhos has got the second goal to add to Kylian Mbappe's early strike. The defending champions with a lot of work to do, it would seem. Chelsea looking to get a foothold in this game, but Mount fouled his man Pepe. Referee playing an advantage because Porto have the ball, but it's a poor pass from Otavio. In steps the toe there of Reece James to divert it out of play for a throw-in, which is taken by Sanusi. Azpilicueta can intercept the ball down the line. Kovacic now stepping away from the challenge of Uribe and works out to the left-hand side with Ben Chilwell. We haven't seen him get forward much in this first half. Christensen now for Chelsea, looking out towards James, who has been allowed to gallivant at times down the right. Flicks it in from him to Werner, who returns it out to the England international. Now Andreas Christensen to Jorginho. Back with Christensen again. He finds Kovacic. He feeds a nice ball out to the right-hand side where Mason Mount trying to take on Sanusi, who slides in with the challenge. It's a good one. James will keep the ball in play. I don't think he was sure whether it was going to be a corner or a goal kick, so did the right thing. It keeps the attack alive from a Chelsea point of view. Jorginho back into the feet of Christensen and across to the left with Rudiger. This is a better period of possession for Chelsea, similar to what we saw in the opening 10 minutes, as Azpilicueta out to James, delivers a cross into the box, cleared away by Pepe at the front post. It'll be a throw-in to Chelsea. James takes, he goes back towards Jorginho. Now Kovacic, 40 yards from goal, keeps it moving to Rudiger, now out on the left with Ben Chilwell. Only Rudiger once more. Kovacic, some movement in front of him. Porto got everyone back behind the ball once again, really making it difficult for Chelsea to find a way through. Havertz into Chilwell, back with Kovacic again. Chelsea probing. Cesar Azpilicueta driving forward. He's again got Reece James as an outlet down the right-hand side. James tees up Jorginho, who flings the ball towards the far post. It's too far for Chilwell initially, but he will gather on the far side. Finds Havertz. Porto, I think, stopped there slightly. Maybe expecting an offside flag. It hasn't come. Chelsea haven't been able to exploit that moment of hesitation from the designated home side this evening. Oh, that's a lovely turn from Havertz into the penalty area. Oh, it's drilled into the back of the net by Mason Mount. It's a brilliant Chelsea goal. They have an away goal in this tie. It's technically on neutral territory, but Chelsea the away side this evening. The ball played into the feet of Mason Mount, who turns superbly into the penalty area before drilling the ball right-footed into the corner of the net. He's a man in form for both club and country at the moment. Jorginho it is, with the little ball around the corner. Sanusi rather overcommits himself, the left back, doesn't cover himself in glory, and he is punished in superb fashion by Mason Mount. Big goal this for Chelsea. The deadlock broken at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Mason Mount, the scorer for Thomas Tuchel's side. They've been on the back foot for the best part of 20 minutes, but Mount, with a moment of brilliance, the ball rolled into his feet by Jorginho. Sanusi, the left-back, overcommits himself, dives in. Mount turns brilliantly away from him. He's still got a lot to do on the angle, but he drills it right-footed into the corner of the net, beyond Marchesin in the Porto goal. It's his first strike in the Champions League this season. He's a man in form, and Chelsea have a crucial away goal. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Yeah, brilliantly taken by Mason Mount. As I say, rather against the run of play, it has to be said. Sanusi overcommitted himself to the fullback. He has dived in a little bit in this game so far. Sometimes he's got away with it. Sometimes it's made it look like a good challenge. But you did wonder, even at that stage, maybe there's a mistake in him. And he was too gung-ho on that occasion, and it's been exploited by one of the form players for Chelsea over recent months. Mason Mount had a great international break, didn't he, with England as well. He's given Chelsea the lead this evening. To say, against the run of play, really, but that might really spring Chelsea into life now as Reece James puts another dangerous ball into the box. Again, the pressing from Chelsea coming down their right-hand flank. Sanusi will now look to bring it forward. He claims he was fouled by Reece James. Didn't look much in it, but the referee has sided with the Porto man. As I do Sanusi. As I say, a Nigerian international. On his first cap last year. Joined from Santa Clara at the start of this season. Spent all his career really to date in Portugal, sorry, I should say. There's an offside flag there raised against Musa Marega. Chelsea worked the free kick to Antonio Rudiger. Now Chilwell down the left-hand side, clipping the ball up towards Timo Werner, who challenges with Manafa. Either player gets on the ball and Mbemba can sweep up for Porto. Goes back towards Marchesin, who puts his foot through the ball, but no one challenging Christensen. Space and time to control for the Dane. Now James on the right-hand side. Chelsea's so good, usually at protecting leads. They were 1-0 up, of course, against West Brom at the weekend, and everything just unravelled, but that was because of, or certainly partly because of, Thiago Silva's sending off. 11 against 11. You'd fancy them to really try and wear Porto down, bide their opportunity, not allow too many chances in behind us. Again, Sanusi's dived in, Mount's rolled away from him, and it's taken Pepe to come across on this occasion to put the challenge in, using his experience there. But Chelsea down this right flank with Mount and James working in tandem are causing Porto a lot of problems. In fairness to Sanusi, he's not getting much support from the players behind him, whether that's Jesus Corona or Luis Diaz. They're interchanging. As now Chelsea look to come down the other side, but Rudiger's ball for Chilwell is slightly overhit. But it is a problem because Sanusi is being left outnumbered at times. When he dives in, it's never mind outnumbered. There's no one there for Porto, unless Pepe or Mbemba come across, and then that leaves them really exposed in the middle. So it's a conundrum for Sergio Conceição and his side, but Chelsea are at the moment happy to reap the rewards. As Marchesin sends the goal kick forward for Porto, flicked on by Grujic. He'll break though to Chilwell on the left-hand side for Chelsea. Now Mateo Kovacic pressed, and he's almost run into trouble there. There's a couple of bites. Uribe nearly got it, as did Diaz. Chelsea are able to clear. Havertz beats Pepe in the air. There's an offside flag up, I think, in amongst that. And in fact, Sanusi's gone down as well, just clutching his face. With Mason Mount maybe just caught him slightly there. Yeah, it's like high boot, I think. He didn't catch him in the face, though. I'm not sure why Sanusi was grabbing his face. Caused him at the very most in his stomach. Either way, the fullback's back on his feet, and Porto have the free kick, which Pepe is standing over. He goes short to Mbemba. He was relegated during his time in England with Newcastle, but he's got the lovely ball out to Sanusi on the left-hand side, but he lets the ball run underneath his feet there. It goes out to play for a throw. Porto 0, Chelsea 1. We're bringing you independent off-tube studio commentary of this Champions League quarter-final first leg tie. Bayern Munich, incidentally, in the other game that's taking place this evening in this competition, have pulled a goal back. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting against his former club has made it Bayern 1, PSG 2. That game is also available on this service, incidentally, as we tick into the latter stages of the first halves in both these quarter-final first leg ties. Chelsea, thanks to Mason Mount's first Champions League goal of the season, are ahead in this one at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán in Seville, being played on neutral territory this first leg, as is the second leg at the same venue. But importantly for Chelsea this evening is they are the away side technically tonight, so that goal from Mount counts double, if you like. That means Porto's task is all the more difficult at the moment. The Portuguese side in possession with their goalkeeper Agustin Marchesin. As I say, he's an Argentine international. He's won 7 caps, the goalkeeper. He made his debut a decade ago, with 3 of his 7 appearances coming in 2019. Chancellor Mbemba now for Porto goes back to his goalkeeper once again, and Marchesin will carry the ball out of his penalty area. real closing down from Chelsea. Token effort from Timo Werner. Marchesin will clip the ball forward. It's over the head of the intended target that was Moussa Marega. He's putting pressure on Ben Chilwell. Surely fouled the Chelsea left back there, but the referee not interested. I think it was that late. He'd turned away from it and was following the ball there, Slavko Vincic. The assistant referee was clearly watching that. Porto can play on now down the right-hand side. This would be controversial if he could get a goal. Corona into Otavio. Those two combining nicely again. Otavio's dug out a cross. It's too high for Diaz. Sanusi will keep it alive down the left. He skips away from James. Draws a dangerous ball into the box. Cleared away by Jorginho. Mbemba will pick it up for Porto on the halfway line. Feeds it into the feet of Uribe. Fizzes it out to Diaz, who controls well. Marega wants the ball played down the channel. He's ignored for the time being by his teammate. Instead it goes into Grujic. Now out to Sanusi. Digs out across towards the edge of the area. Feet from Corona were good, but then he loses possession. Quickly won back though by the tenacious Mbemba. Pepe will work out to Manafa, and this is Porto back on the front foot. Uribe out towards the left-hand side. Diaz was the intended target. James cuts it out. Now it's clear as though he's rather up into the air rather than forward. It's picked up by Otavio, who was fouled there by the trailing leg of Kai Havertz. And that would be a painful one for Otavio, because I think he was slipping as he was fouled, so his standing leg was slipping one way. Havertz took the other leg the other. He might have just jarred something in his groin or even potentially his knee. It's an innocuous challenge from Havertz, but certainly could have done some damage to Otavio, and this would be a blow to Porto, because number 25 has been one of their bright sparks. He takes all their set pieces as well. So we'll be hoping he's just slightly overstretched and he can run that off, and he's not actually pulled something. It does look like he's back on his feet. Yeah, in fact, he is going to stand over this free kick, so there can't, you would suspect, be any real damage done there. He's one of two players standing over the free kick, and in fact, Sanusi is now running into the penalty area, so it will be Otavio, right-footed, left of centre, dinks the ball into the box. It's headed clear by Havertz. Comes to the edge of the area. Corona volleys it towards goal. It's blocked behind by Azpilicueta for another Porto corner. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to play at the end of the first half. It needed blocking that as well from Cesar Azpilicueta, because it was heading towards Edouard Mendy's bottom left-hand corner. Very dangerous player, Jesus Corona, the Mexican international. Featured in their recent friendly defeat against Wales. Otavio lifts the corner to the box. Pepe heads towards goal and forces Mendy into a save. He's had to turn it behind. For another corner there, Edouard Mendy. Good header from Pepe. It's a save you'd expect the goalkeeper to make, but he had to be in the right position, and Edouard Mendy was. Otavio lifts another ball into the box. Flicked on by Uribe. This time it's routine for Mendy to collect. They are a threat from set pieces, though, Porto. Chelsea with this one goal advantage. I'd probably say, based on the chances anyway, they have had more of the ball, Chelsea, but on chances, it's a lead that flatters them at the moment. Porto unlucky not to be on the score sheet, you would say. The ball is with their goalkeeper Marchesin. Out to Pepe. As I mentioned earlier, he's the oldest outfield player, Pepe, to feature in the quarterfinals of the Champions League since Ryan Giggs did so for Manchester United back in 2014. Giggs was 40 at that time. He's still got some way to go to match that record, Pepe. He's jostling with Kai Havertz, but the German has been penalised. Be a free kick to Porto. In fact, I think it was Azpilicueta in the previous aerial duel with Luis Diaz who's actually conceded the free kick. Diaz now has the ball at his feet. He's switching the play out to the right-hand side where there's space for Wilson Manafa to bring the ball forward. He links up with Corona. Otavio takes over. Doesn't quite go out on that far side. Manafa plays it into Corona. Back to Grujic. Manafa once more. Fix it into Otavio, who can cross. Headed clear by Azpilicueta. Pepe nods it back forward for Porto. Sanusi looking to turn away from Reece James. James stands his ground well though and puts in a good challenge. Seems to be having the better of that duel at the moment, the Chelsea right back, right wing back as he is this evening. Porto are coming forward again into the final 30 seconds of the opening 45. Stoppage time will be to come. Should Slavko Vincic opt to add anything on. There's a nice turn there by Uribe onto the edge of the area. Uribe, can he get a shot away? He's trying. It's deflected off Rudiger and behind for yet another Porto corner. Matthias Uribe already has proven his ability to strike from range in this game, so it was an important block from Rudiger. This could be Porto's last chance of the first half as we tick into additional time. Otavio's corner into the box, headed down by Grujic, but straight down the throat of Mendy once again, and that will be the end of an entertaining and open first half at the Ramón Sánchez Pizjuán. Porto probably having the better of it, but it's Chelsea that lead at the break thanks to a lovely goal from Mason Mount, his first strike in the Champions League this season. So at half-time, in this Champions League quarter-final first leg tie, it's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. At the break, it's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. The only goal of the half coming on 32 minutes. Jorginho rolled the ball into the feet of Mason Mount, who turned away from Zaidu Sanusi with ease. Sanusi dived into the challenge, didn't get there. Mount, it was brilliant, and he did the rest, firing into the bottom corner of the net. However, despite leading, Chelsea have actually been on the back foot for most of this first half. Porto have had a couple of opportunities. Uribe's hit the roof of the net. Otavio's come close from a corner, and Sanusi came close with the follow-up. Porto 0, Chelsea 1 at the break. The only goal of the first half coming on 32 minutes. Mason Mount with a lovely turn away from Zaidu Sanusi in the area, and he finished nicely right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. Despite leading though, Chelsea have largely been on the back foot. Porto have certainly had the better chances. Uribe's came close from long range. Otavio almost beat Edouard Mendy straight from a corner, and from the resulting save, Zaidu Sanusi fired over from close range. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Porto 0, Chelsea 1 at the break. The only goal of the first half coming on 32 minutes. Mason Mount with a lovely turn away from Zaidu Sanusi in the area, and he finished nicely right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. Despite leading though, Chelsea have largely been on the back foot. Porto have certainly had the better chances. Uribe's came close from long range. Otavio almost beat Edouard Mendy straight from a corner, and from the resulting save, Zaidu Sanusi fired over from close range. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Porto 0, Chelsea 1 at the break. The only goal of the first half coming on 32 minutes. Mason Mount with a lovely turn away from Zaidu Sanusi in the area, and he finished nicely right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. Despite leading though, Chelsea have largely been on the back foot. Porto have certainly had the better chances. Uribe's came close from long range. Otavio almost beat Edouard Mendy straight from a corner, and from the resulting save, Zaidu Sanusi fired over from close range. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Porto 0, Chelsea 1 at the break. The only goal of the first half coming on 32 minutes. Mason Mount with a lovely turn away from Zaidu Sanusi in the area, and he finished nicely right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. Despite leading though, Chelsea have largely been on the back foot. Porto have certainly had the better chances. Uribe's came close from long range. Otavio almost beat Edouard Mendy straight from a corner, and from the resulting save, Zaidu Sanusi fired over from close range. It's Porto 0, Chelsea 1. Porto 0, Chelsea 1 at the break. The only goal of the first half coming on 32 minutes. Mason Mount with a lovely turn away from Zaidu Sanusi in the area, and he finished nicely